Hi, everybody. It's attorney Sherry Stinson here. And if you saw my last video, during the month of July, we are talking about what we can do to protect our families and protect our communities. And today I wanted to come on and share a client story and give you some tips at the end regarding end of life decisions. So that's what this video is on. In April, I had a couple come in and see me. They had a really old estate plan, and when they had reviewed it, they noticed that they didn't have a living will. So they came in with me, and this was a long topic of discussion in the office. So we put together a plan for them. I talked with them and counseled them on how to have the conversation with each other, with their adult son, about what would need to be done. About 2 weeks later, I get a call on a Friday afternoon that the man had suddenly and unexpectedly collapsed. Prior to that, he was healthy, no known issues. Unfortunately, the gentleman had lost oxygen for a really long time. And so it came down to that they had to utilize the living will that they had created, and they had to make the decision to pull the plug. And unfortunately, the man died the next day. If anything good at all was to come out of this, it was the fact that we had had a tough conversation that they had been putting off having. They actually thought the spouse was going to go first, not the gentleman who died. And so the wife and the son were really grateful that we had had that conversation. So the living will, this is the document that directs those end of life decisions. What happens if I'm in a coma? What happens if I'm terminally ill? What happens if I have an end stage condition? Studies show that although 90% of the people know that they need to have the conversation, only 27% of the people ever do. So if you haven't done this, listen, you're not alone. You're in good company. So I'm going to give you 3 tips on how to have these conversations. Number 1, use an example. If you have someone in your family that this has happened to, a close friend, maybe you can even pull something from a news story. It's a good place to start because it eases your loved ones into the conversation. It makes it a little less personal to you. And then people tend to get a little less apprehensive once you start there. The second thing that you can do is really plan your words in advance. So you may want to say something like, I was thinking about what would happen to you guys if I can't make decisions for myself, if I can't tell you what I want. And even though I'm healthy now, I want you guys to have the confidence in making the decisions that need to be made. And I don't want you to feel burdened by making that decision. The third thing is plan a time and a place to have the conversation. Nobody likes to be blindsided with difficult things to talk about or difficult decisions to be made. By planning things out ahead of time, not just the words, but the time and the place, even who you're going to involve. Is it going to be your doctor, clergy, family, friends? Who do you want to bring in on this conversation so they know your wishes? That will go a long way too. Listen, I know from having to have made end of life decisions in my own family that this can be a really, really difficult conversation to have. Even doing things like end of life planning, I had to do some recent pre-planning for my mom. And I got to tell you, I know it's uncomfortable. Even there, sitting in a funeral home, having a conversation about planning death for someone who's alive. I get it. I've been there. But because we've been there, it's one of the things that makes us really, really good at what we do. So if you have found this video helpful and you yourself need some help, please feel free to give me a call. We'll give you a free 15-minute phone consultation and you can ask me all the questions that you want. The second thing is, if you found this video helpful and maybe you don't need anything right now, but you know somebody who does, you can help me help protect our families and our communities by sharing this video. We don't want families to be in turmoil. It's an awful place to be. So if you need help, know somebody who does, give us a call at 727-291-9320. We'll be happy to talk to you and answer any questions that you may have. Thanks for watching and have a good day.